Now this illustration deals with test instruments and equipment in accordance with 70E 110.8A. Now, as you notice the illustration here with all these testing instruments that are listed here, these instruments are, some of them you can test less than 50 volts to 600 volts, and check this voltage to see if it's absent when you want to say perform a lock and tag out procedure to place a piece of equipment into electrically safe work condition for Article 120. But now notice the purpose of the change is renumbering, and a revision has been made to outline working changes for technical accuracy as well as additional language to ensure competent personnel are making repairs on equipment in accordance with 110.8A where electrical hazard might exist. Now, we know that 110.4C says less than 50 volts should be tested, and then say an evaluation run to determine if that voltage is a shock hazard or arc hazard. So less than 50 volts, a qualified person that's competent must also know how to read the instruments and check this situation and make sure that there's not a hazardous condition exist. Now, Article 100 of 70E, and say Chapter 3 and 70B talks about this qualified person that they also have to be competent to do the job. Now, I think right here is a very important information is the operation verification that is outlined in 110.8E on page 19 of 70E. And you test before using, test for absence of voltage, then test after use. So in other words, say you had a 480 volt switch where you could check the line side and see that you had 480 volts, your tester was working, disconnect it, check the load side, and you'd say, well, it's absent, no voltage reading here. Then go back and check the line side, and you see that your tester registers your voltage. Then you know the tester is working properly. Now, that's what this section and this call out right here is all about. And then notice we said, yeah, you have to run a test at 50 volts or more by 110.8E. If you had less than 50 volts, and we said that's 110.4C that deals with that. We already talked about the sock hood requirements and everything, so I won't bother you with that. But we really haven't talked about the heavy-duty gloves in testing. So we would look at 110.8A, page 19. That goes through the testing, and your gloves is listed, and 130.7C, 10D1 on page 32. And just regular heavy-duty leather gloves where the task would permit those to be used. Then naturally they have an inside liner usually, and they're good for about 10 calorie per centimeter squared is what you're told in that section with a note, informational note and so forth. So this illustration just kind of details requirements or things we should do when we use test instruments and equipment to determine the absence of voltage or take voltage readings and so forth, depending on the job task.